doing something called the 5-star shadow. I'm not gonna say it because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in you can't make you know what I'm talking about.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing out there? I'm your host, Dennis Holmes. This is the Side Jawn. I'm here because I have a special guest in the building, Allen's own top wrestling content creator. You'll catch him everywhere. Allen, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great today. Excited to be on the show with you. We're gonna have a good time today.
Yeah, we having a good time. We having a great time. Allen, I gotta come right out. I do have to ask you this question. Now, like I said, he's a top wrestling content creator. What is this thing with you and the final boss? What is going on here?
First of all, it's a one-way street. Okay, final boss coming at me for whatever reason there is. Mr. Schizophrenia, as I call him, because he can't tell which character he is that day. He doesn't know if he's Dwayne Johnson. He doesn't know if he's TKO board member. He doesn't know if he's final boss, or he doesn't know if he's The Rock that day. I made a simple video about the guy, and I said The Rock, the character The Rock, does not like the character CM Punk. I didn't say that Dwayne Johnson doesn't like Phil Brooks, right? And it was a simple video. It said that he stole many opportunities from him, which the Rock character did. Even CM Punk's character, the week that he responded to me, his character said, "You bald fraud are stealing another moment from me by helping, John Cena win the Elimination Chamber and stealing my moment against Cody Rhodes," which they were alluding to for weeks. If you don't remember, leading up to Chamber, they had CM Punk and Cody in the ring talking about how he's not going to backstab him. He's going to stab him in the front. And I made a video talking about that. And The Rock, in Dwayne Johnson form, talked about how he's been friends with him at all these years and that they're really good friends and that no matter what he's going to do is for long-term storytelling and the best for business, and said, "You are a clown." Not "you are a clown." I'm not the grammar police, so I'm not going to come for him. But he said, "You are a clown."
He wrote this in your comments.
Yes. And the big thing is, though, it's like, Dwayne, how could you have become friends with him all these years if in storyline he's been gone for 10 years? How could y'all be best friends already? Like, what you been doing? Did you leave the company and become friends with the guy that's not in the company? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was misinterpretation on the final boss's part that I was coming at Dwayne Johnson when we're talking about the character of The Rock. But I'm standing on business. Listen, The Rock wanna beef with me? He can have all the beef he wants. I'll see him at Mania.
Okay. All right. So you're going to Mania?
Yes, we'll be at WrestleMania.
Okay. That's good. You're going. So you got this thing where you say your 2025 is going to be a big year.
Yes, sir.
And it looks like you've been to every wrestling event close to you.
Oh, yeah. I try to go to everything on the Northeast, and I'm trying to travel to every PLE this year. John Cena's retirement tour. It's one of my, favorite superstars of all time. I'm not going to miss a John Cena PLE when I'm never going to get a chance to see him again. I saw that guy when I was, a young adult. Like, I think the first time I saw him at a show, I was like 10, 11 years old. The fact that 20 years later, I get to see the guy on his final trips, I have to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to live another 10 years from now being like, damn, I really should have went to this show because, one of the greatest of all time was retiring and this moment happened.
Yeah, I've seen John Cena. I'll probably see him again at SummerSlam because whatever I do, I'm going to SummerSlam. That's for sure. I'm going to SummerSlam. I can't wait to go. I actually be buying my tickets next week to go to SummerSlam. So yeah, I'm going to SummerSlam. So I'll probably see you at SummerSlam. Wear the shirt because I got to sign the shirt. You got a thing that you
100%,
do where
100%.
you got you got the shirt, plain shirt, and you got everybody that comes by takes a picture with you. They sign the shirt, and I got to come by, take a picture with you, and sign the shirt. Definitely got to catch you there. Now, when did you start watching wrestling?
So I've been watching wrestling since I was like a little kid. So I got older cousins, and like I'm the youngest in my family. Like, well, my sister
Right?
is now, but yeah, I'm the youngest by like, because like my mom's the youngest on her side. My dad's the youngest on his side. So like all of like I got cousins that are closer to my mom's age than me. That's like, yeah. Because again, my grandparents are the same way. My grandpa has a brother that's almost 20 years older than him. My mom has a brother that's 20 years. My grandma has a brother that's 20 years older than her. So like, they all have kids, and then they have kids, and it's like down this like little line. Like I got cousins that when they were like 18, 19, I was like 4 or 5 years old. And this was like when WCW was around still, towards the end, obviously. But I would go to like my cousin's house and hang out with them, and like, I was the little cousin that they would power bomb onto the bed. You know what I mean? Because like I was like little, you could just toss me around and stuff like that. And they realistically, like my cousins, my older brother, and everyone got me like into professional wrestling because like that was the thing in that time period. Like, I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 93. So like when I was like 5, 6 years old, you're talking about the peak of the Attitude Era. Obviously, I didn't know what was going on. You're like not conscious as a wrestling fan at that time, but I knew being around them and their energy and the things that were happening, like as a kid, like it was cool, right? Like I remember I had a NWO shirt that they gave me. I would drown in it because my cousins were like way bigger, but like I had an NWO shirt. That was my first piece of merch. I remember my dad had got me an Austin 316 shirt. I had a lot of like, merch and stuff like that. And that was a cool thing to like watch back then, like anyone that was around the Northeast, or I'm sure they had these everywhere, but we had those little black boxes. I don't know. You remember if we were younger, we had the black box that you can like watch pay-per-views on it and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. You talking about the
Yeah.
little black box? Yeah.
So
See, you
watch
got to use your hood term. They were called chip boxes.
Yeah.
Chip
Well,
boxes.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know what terminology we're using out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's gonna watch it. I'm gonna call it chip box. I'd be like, they could be like, yo, you could eat chips on a box. What is going on here? You know what I mean?
No,
So like,
no, it was the box had a digital chip in it, and
yep.
we were stealing cable, and
Yeah.
that's how we got to watch wrestling. Now you only had 2 pay-per-view channels. One of them was the Freaky Nasty channel, and then the other one was wrestling, or boxing or whatever came on pay-per-view. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So
And like that, I just remember, like I would flick through like I knew exactly how to get to it when like you had like the pay-per-views going on. Like I said, you're not conscious enough to know what's going on, but to you as a kid, like these are larger than life characters. They're so big, like they're action figures on your screen, and then you have that action figure as like your like a toy at home. You know what I mean? And like it was something that like I feel like it's been a part of my life for over like 25 years at this point.
that's cool. That's cool. Now, so at that time, who was your favorite wrestler?
Oh man. It's hard to like remember, like pinpoint exactly my first favorites, but I would say probably the Outsiders, like Hall, Nash. I was a big Jericho guy. I loved Jericho. I loved Angle. I love Benoit. I know that's like a taboo answer to give nowadays, but I love Benoit.
No. It's just because people try to make it seem like, oh, well, you into all the bad stuff they do. No, you like the character that
Yep.
you've seen when you were growing up. Like I don't like this. Like I grew up loving Hulk Hogan. All right, I told my mom we going to go see the Gremlins because I seen Hulk Hogan in the Gremlins preview. All right, I don't even do scary movies, but I'm going to go see the Gremlins because Hulk Hogan was in the preview. That's how much I liked Hulk Hogan. That don't mean I like what he's doing now. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like Terry. I like the Immortal Hulk Hogan. That's the guy. I don't like Terry. I like Immortal Hulk Hogan. There's a difference. But you go ahead.
So those were like my first like favorite wrestlers. That like I remember as a kid like falling in love with. Kane was another one. I remember being so like mesmerized by Kane. And one of my cousins, we always joke about it. They had they had like a Kane mask, and what they would do is they in their house they had this long hallway that was between like their parents' room and their room. And what they would do to like prank me is they would leave to go to the parents' room, and then they would turn off the lights in the hallway and make me walk to the parents' room, turn it on, and one of them's in the Kane mask at the end of the hallway, and I'm like freaking out, like, oh my god, Kane's coming to get me.
Kane, I'm not gonna lie to you. Kane probably was one of the scariest wrestlers. You know, I think his intro was just so scary. Like, and I was like, and only person that got me like that with that sort of Kane intro, and my guy June Pierre, he's watching the show. He'll say, but was Jacob Fatu interest? Like
Okay.
when Jacob Fatu came, I was like, who the fuck is this? Like that. That's how I felt like, who the fuck is this? And that's the same way I felt with Kane. Like when he took the fucking door off the fucking Hell in a Cell, I was like, damn, like this dude right here. And then he went and destroyed the Undertaker. It's like, not the Undertaker. But Undertaker was another one that was scary too. Like that was another scary guy as well. They did a good job scaring us with people in wrestling. I gotta give them that. But yeah, Kane did scare me. I'm not gonna lie. He had me nervous. That's what I'm gonna say about that. But I didn't really have the mass situation. I was born in '85, so I started watching wrestling around like 3. I didn't really know what was going on, but I knew I liked jumping off the couch and elbow dropping my toys, like Macho Man Randy Savage. I knew I wanted to rip my shirt off like Hulk Hogan, even though I got my ass whooped before by my mom. But I still wanted to rip my shirt off, like Hulk Hogan. You understand? Those are things I just knew. You go outside, you try it on people. I tried the stuff on my little brother. My mom would get mad at me and stuff like that. Still get a beating, but it didn't matter because to me it was fun. You see what I'm saying? That's how much I love wrestling. And people say things now because now I'm older. They'll be like, I can't believe you still watch wrestling. I'm like, I watch wrestling. I love the entertainment. It's really sports entertainment. I love it. They do a great job of telling the story, playing it out. Then they show you a great show. Now, when you go to a wrestling event, it's a little different because you don't hear the announcers. And I didn't know that because I ain't been to a wrestling event in a while. So when I went to my wrestling event as an adult, I was sitting there and I was wondering why I couldn't hear shit. I was like, you can't hear shit. They ain't got shit on no TVs or nothing. Like, you don't know what's going on. You can't go to the bathroom in this motherfucker because you're going to miss some shit. So I had to learn the hard way. You got to go ahead, get the peacock, put the shit in your ear. You gotta have one ear
I've never even thought to do that.
Listen, this lady told me that. She said, you got to have the peacock put the peacock on, put the goddamn earpiece in your ear, and then had the other one watching everything. And I was like, oh, this is what you got to do. I had no idea. So what do you do when you go to these live events?
I soak in the fucking moment, man. I soak in the moment. I mean, like, I go to every wrestling show and like, I just, man, I be chatting with the people to my left. I be chatting with people to my right. We be watching the show. I don't know. Like, I'm very like, I'm a very outgoing, like extroverted person. I mean, have you ever seen my reactions when they're live reactions, bro? I'm talking there like I'm freaking on my stream. You know what I mean? And people are always like, yo, I bet the people next to you hate you, bro. I become friends with every single person on my left, every person on my right, every person in front of me, and every person behind me. I try to make friends with every single person there because it's like, bro, we just spent money to be in a room together for something that we are all passionate about. Not a single person in there dislikes the other one, unless they're being a drunk asshole. Like, we've had stuff like that happen. Like, I've been at many shows where it's like, I'm not a very confrontational person. I don't like being confrontational. There has been times where like we've had to like, especially when there's kids there, right? Like, I'm a big guy in understanding like, bro, we are adults. These moments are made for the kids. Like, you are second priority at a wrestling show. The kids are first priority. You got to understand that. And when we were at the SmackDown before, I don't remember if it was the Rumble or the SmackDown before Chamber. No, it had to be the Rumble because I was on the floor. Yeah, It was the SmackDown before Rumble. There was like these 3 drunk dudes behind us, and they're just yelling obscenities at like, you know, the wrestlers and stuff like that. But it's like it's funny. It's how I almost got into a confrontation at Raw at Buffalo, the one after Elimination Chamber, because these guys were yelling at Ludwig Kaiser during the commercial, being like, "You're European elegance, you're the best, Ludwig." And then the first thing he says is like, "I took all the attention from Penta," because it was like right after he got like a win on him or jumped him. I forget what the storyline point there was. And then they're like yelling at him. They go like, "You Ludwig, you fucking suck," this and that. And I literally like yelled at the guy. I was like, "Yo, didn't you just tell Ludwig that he's the man and European elegance? Sit the fuck down." And they just sit down. They shut up the rest of the way. And I'm like, bro, you have kids next to you. You're yelling all these obscenities at them and stuff like that. And it's like when we were at Rumble, it was the same thing. Like they're yelling obscenities and there's a kid sitting right in front of us. And I was just like, yo, guys, like just tone it down. There's like 3 kids in front of you, like relax. And they just like, you know, they bring it down. Cause sometimes you gotta read the room and you gotta understand the moment you're in, right? Like we're at a professional wrestling show. The show is made for the kids to have the time of their life. They don't need to hear you yelling like F-bombs and calling them, you know, homophobic slurs and stuff like that. Like they're little kids. Like let the kids enjoy it. You can save that for when you're watching at home.
I feel the same way. I didn't have the drunk idiots, you know, messing with people like that. Everybody in my row, actually, we all got along. We were all cool. We usually always, everywhere I'm at, I usually always have a good time. I ain't had no true incidents, but I usually catch like 2 or 3 guys got a belt. And I'll be like, oh, is that belt real? Let me see that belt. That belt be heavy as fuck. They really paid all that money for a belt. I'll be like, damn. And I was thinking about getting one too, because I do have the fantasy football thing I do.
I don't got money like that. Listen, I don't got money like that. Like you got like $1,000 to throw on belts. Like I respect it. You know what I mean? Like I don't got.
$1,000. I thought it was 500.
Well, I mean, some of them, like, listen, you want like most of the time these people are at the events are walking around with the special edition, like when they had like I always see somebody with that Roman Reigns 1,316-day reign belt, right? And there's only 1,316 of them, and I'm always like, I see one of these everywhere I go. And those were like $1,000-something bucks. You had the every time they like every city you go to, they're buying the city ones, right? The city ones are a little more money. And like I'm always like, damn, like the normal ones, I get it. Like, listen, you drop because especially when they go on sale, I'm always like, damn, like it's on sale right now. It's like $350. Do I pull a trigger on like a $350 belt? Like those are always tempting. But like when they have like the special edition ones and like they'll double fist them. I remember I saw a guy with the Rated RKO belt and the CM Punk spinner belt. And I'm like, bro, like you have like $2,500 on your shoulders right now. You know, like people we walk around with chains. These guys walking around with, you know, $2,500 on belts.
That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. I gotta hand it to them guys with them belts, man. They got that. I'm gonna get one though, but I ain't doing all that. But I'm gonna get me one eventually. Eventually, I'm gonna get me one. So with those being your favorite wrestlers back then, now you got older. You know, we're in a new time now. It's 2025. Who's your favorite wrestler now?
Currently?
And a wrestler, and I'm gonna ask you about a wrestler, and then I'm gonna ask you about a sports entertainer.
Okay. So it's tough because like I would say my favorite wrestlers, like 5 in general, right? Like we're talking about all the companies and everything. Seth Rollins is my number 1. I love Seth Rollins. I believe Seth Rollins is the overall best superstar in the history of the WWE. You can argue with a wall. I already made a video on it and we argued about it.
Best superstar in the WWE?
Yeah, total package, 100%. You can argue with a wall if you want.
You talking about now? Hold on, wait. No, I'm sorry to interrupt. Best superstar in the WWE? You mean right now, or you mean ever?
Ever. Total package.
Oh,
yeah. You like I said, you can argue with a wall all you want. I had whole reasons because there's 4 categories I think you have to fall into, and I can eliminate most of your favorites in one of those 4 categories. But Seth Rollins, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, and Kyle Fletcher. I'd say those are like my favorite wrestlers in professional wrestling right now. Like those are the people that like I have to tune in to watch. Those are the people that like if they are on TV, you're gonna catch me watching the show. I love those guys. I'm also very biased towards the New York wrestlers like a Zelina Vega, Damian Priest. AEW is full of my local talent that I've been watching on the indies for years. I watched Jacob Fatu against Bronson Reed in 2022 on the indies. So I have a lot of love for those guys because it's like, it's one thing when you see someone on the independent circuit and then you see them like make it to the big show and like be like relevant on the big show. It's like really like you have like a special love for those people.
Now, I've never been to an indie show. Never been to an indie show. Unless you consider ECW an indie show, then I've been to one of them. Okay?
When? Like back in the day, ECW?
Yeah, I'm talking about
they were
in the
an
ECW.
yeah, they're an indie back then. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, they did get a pay-per-view after a while. So
I mean,
that's
listen,
what I'm saying.
a lot of indie shows are doing pay-per-views on Triller nowadays too. You know what I mean? Like you got
No. They got a pay. Okay, let me go back and say this. They got a pay-per-view on a pay-per-view. When pay-per-views were pay-per-views, all right. When you had
but
to pay
no one does that
$50
anymore nowadays.
I'm just telling you, like that's why I said I can't really consider them an indie. Like that's a good question though. Is the beginning of ECW?
They were an independent company without a TV deal, right? Like they weren't on TV outside of pay-per-view.
I watched them on TV.
Listen, I'm not the biggest historian when it comes to Eastern Championship Wrestling. I mean, sorry, Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Now I've never seen Eastern Championship Wrestling on TV. If it was on TV, I can't sit there and say I watched it. Extreme Championship Wrestling, I watched on TV. I've actually seen Extreme Championship Wrestling. I've actually seen a couple wrestlers come to the Dave & Buster's in Philadelphia, which was Sandman and Raven. Which I was surprised that they hung out because they just had a crazy ass fight not too long ago before I seen it. I was like, what the fuck? I was just so happy to see him. It didn't even matter. But Extreme Championship Wrestling came on basic TV on Saturday nights.
Yeah, at that point, they're no longer an independent. But I'm saying, like, I'm talking about, like, I thought you were talking about, like, back then, like the Eastern Championship Wrestling when they were doing it, like, the bars and shit like that. Because I forget there was, like, that one bar before they moved to the 2300 arena. I forget what that one bar that they would do it at. But because I was like, I just watched the documentary, like, a couple years ago on it that Cultaholic put out about, like, the history of ECW. And, like, bro, they used to be in a bar with, like, like 50 to 100 people in there. And then they got to where they got to, like it transitions, you know what I mean? Like you don't really see that nowadays, like, because you need so much funding nowadays to not be an independent, like you can't just pay people with training or pay them like the bare minimum.
That's probably why he went bankrupt.
It's exactly why they went out of business.
That's probably why he went bankrupt. But, I still give him his props, man. Paul Heyman's a great guy. Now, the wrestlers that I like right now, is a lot, but I still love Kevin Owens, even though he's going through this workhorse mode. I still love Kevin Owens because he always says something on the mic that makes me laugh. I don't give a damn what nobody says. He always says some shit that I didn't expect him to say, and it makes me laugh. I love Tama Tonga. Okay, and I'm a little upset that Tama Tonga is not wrestling. I don't know if he's going through an injury. I don't know what's going on, but I don't need him to be the beatdown guy. I need him to go back to being the bad guy. I need to see him in the ring, and I want to see him doing his yay. That's the guy I want. You know what I'm saying? And I think to me, now you may not agree with this, but to me, I think he's the best total package wrestler in that family. That's to me.
Current or in general?
Well, current. I can't say all of them because that's a lot of them that's there. But currently, that's in WWE. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Currently, that's in WWE. Because I know somebody about to get me in the comments. So you tripping. To me, it ain't a move he can't do.
Listen, me and him, he hit me with something in Connecticut, so I was kind of hurt by it. Where He did like a suicide dive on our side. I think it was on LA Night, and I was front row, and he came up to me and he like did the yeah and puts his hand out like dab me up, and I put my hand out and he goes fuck you and walks away, and I was like, and so I stood there, you know, in front of everybody with like my hand up, ready to dab him up, and everybody's just like, you know, clowning me, and I'm like, damn, he fucking
He's
got
the
me, bro.
bad guy,
He
man. That's
got
why
me, bro. He got me.
I like him. He's the bad guy, man. But his brother might be the worst wrestler in the family. And that's the whole family. All right. His brother may be the worst wrestler in the whole damn family. I'm here to say it. Now I know he used to be good. You know, he's one of the older ones. You know,
Listen,
him and Roman
Sam,
Reigns
don't
used to be
forget, Samu and Manu were in that family. So
right. Like I said, he's still and I know he used to be a tag team with Roman Reigns in the Indies department. I understand all that because I know people coming at me like, you don't even know his history. No. I know his history. But as of right now, he's the worst wrestler in the goddamn family. Now he can redeem himself. He can go from being the worst wrestler, not being the worst wrestler, but he's the worst wrestler in the family right about now. All right. That's just how I feel. But yeah, I'm going Tama Tonga, Kevin Owens. For the females, I like Miss Parker. Jay Parker. It might be just the crush I'm having, you know. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone though. Leave it alone. I like Miss Parker. Another wrestler that I love to see, and I'd be hyped to see all the time. I do. No, not them. I do like where this tag team division thing is going because I think Montez Ford has it to
yep.
actually be a superstar. I think he does. Now they're not going to give it to him because he's going to have to trade on his partner, but I think he has it. And just like you, I do like to see Bianca Belair as well. That's another one.
Here's the big thing when it comes to the favorite wrestlers, and I made a video about this not too long ago. I believe that this is the most beloved roster that we've ever had in the history of WWE. In terms of top to bottom, I don't think there's a single person on the roster that I dislike. Like, there's not a
I agree.
single person where like I don't want to see that person on TV, right? There was many times where growing up throughout all the years when somebody would come on TV, I'd be like, like whatever, you know, like they're here, I guess. Like, um, you know, I guess I'll watch the
I
match.
used to be like that with the headbangers. I'd be like, what is their gimmick? Like, what is like this tag team is terrible. Like, I used to be like that with the headbangers. But
I feel like I had a lot of wrestlers like that growing up where I was just like, I just didn't give two craps about their character. I didn't really care to see them in the ring. I didn't care who they're wrestling against. You could wrestle my favorite wrestler and I'd be like, all right, if my favorite wrestler loses to this person, I'm gonna be very, very upset and think that Vince McMahon's an idiot. But like nowadays, you could match any wrestlers in the ring together nowadays, and I'm cool with it. Like I really think I don't know if it's just because of the availability of talent and seeing that like I think we all agree that the bar to be a professional wrestler nowadays in WWE is so much higher than it's ever been. Like you're not going to get away with being a shitty wrestler and just good on the mic anymore. Like it just doesn't work nowadays. Like you have to be able to work. You
what?
have who do you think is a really shitty wrestler and just good on the mic?
It's because a couple shitty wrestlers that's just okay on the mic.
Like who?
And I'm trying to figure out why. Matter if you just watched a pay per view full of shitty wrestlers, shitty botches. I'm not gonna say
Wait, which
shitty
one?
botches. They that AEW with them botches they had going on in that damn match. So a
I mean,
bunch of shitty
I didn't
botches.
even notice a single botch, but if we're talking about quality of wrestling, that was the best quality of wrestling we're going to see this month, if we're going to be honest.
It probably is because that's the only pay per view this month. I
We have
mean,
a
well,
pay-per-view. We have a
I'm sorry.
pay-per-view in 9 days.
No.
We got a pay-per-view in 9 days.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That probably was the best pay per view we've seen in a while. That's all that was. But I don't think that's going to be the best quality of pay per view that we're going to see this month at all. No.
So you think there's a match that's going to be on Mania that's going to outdo the triple threat match between Omega, Ricochet, and Bayley?
Yeah.
Or a match that's going to do better than Ospreay and Kevin Knight?
Those are some. Listen, I'm not sitting here hating on them saying that they're bad wrestlers. But WrestleMania is going to bring the best out of these wrestlers.
But like, I'm curious.
There's two predictions we're going to talk about in a little. Well, we can get to it now. There's two predictions we're going to talk about with this WrestleMania because I believe there's a third member of this Rock Cena situation, and I don't consider I forgot his name, but
Travis
I don't
Scott.
consider him the third. Yeah, Travis Scott is the Dennis Rodman to the NWO. That's what he is. All right,
Fair.
He's Dennis Rodman to the NWO. So I believe that there's a third member, and I believe we're going to get the third member at Mania. And the fact that they made that triple threat the last match on night 2,
night 1,
makes me further. Is night 2 last match?
Triple threat's night 1.
I heard it was night 2. Now I could be wrong, but I heard it was night 2.
Whoever's telling you, block them on social media
night
right
2,
now.
They lied.
Night
okay.
2, you think they weren't going to close the show with John Cena and Cody Rhodes?
No, they were going to close the first show with that. Yeah, I really did. I thought they were going to close the first show with that.
No. We're bro.
I really did. I thought they were going to close the first. Because the way Paul Heyman said it, he said your main event WrestleMania. And I swore he said night 2. I could be wrong.
I know, but they do that. They did that on purpose to make the moment seem bigger than it was. They're closing night 1, and then night 2 is going to be Cody and Cena, which is why your theory makes more sense. Because if there is a third member, they're not going to do it at the end of night 1. They're doing it at the end of night 2.
All right. Well, if that's the case, I believe Seth Rollins is that third member.
That actually plays into your theory more then, because then he won't have a match that day.
Yeah, I believe Seth Rollins is that third member. And that's when he reveals this stuff. Like all the stuff that he was saying that day when they signed the contracts just had me thinking like this guy just made this is my theory. Like I said, this guy just made me the third member. Like he's like, I gotta clean up your mess again, Roman. Clean up your mess. I believe he may be the third member.
Listen, I never knock anybody's theory until we see it, right? I'm a very big believer in like none of us are actually booking the show, so you can fantasy book whatever the hell you want to do, right? Like, I hate when people are like, I'm glad you're not a booker. Well, obviously, I'm not a goddamn booker. I'm sitting behind a television just like you. I'm sure you predict who's going to win. I'm sure you're going to predict what's going to happen at the pay-per-views, just like I do. We're here to, like, do our predictions as fans. It's like, just like any TV show you watch, you're like, I bet you that's the killer. I bet you that's the bad guy. I bet you they're going to fall in love. Right? Like we do the same thing when it comes to professional wrestling matches. I don't personally think Seth Rollins is the third guy. Do I think that The Rock and somebody else get involved? Probably. They're going to help Cena win number 17 and stuff like that. So he can walk out of there with the belt. But yeah, but I also don't think the quality of that match is going to be that good because Cena is nowhere near as good as he was back in the day, nor was he.
That ain't the match that I thought was going to be good.
I'm just saying, like, I think the quality of that match is not going to be the best.
I actually think the LA Knight Jacob Fatu match is going to be good, and I think the Penta,
Braun, Finn, and Dom.
I think that those are the two matches that if I'm betting on to get 10 out of 10 on matches, those are the two that I'm betting
on. I could see it.
Let me say this though. Last year I betted on Jimmy and Jay being the best match of the joint, and I was highly disappointed.
Once you found out that they were cutting time off of it, I was like, I get it. It's an unfortunate situation. Yeah, when you're watching it, you don't know that they cut the time, right? You only find out after. So it's one of those like unfortunate situations where it's like in the moment, it's like, damn, this was not what I thought it was going to be. Like, do I feel like it got the emotion out of me that I felt like it was going to? Probably anyway. Like it got me that whole like brother versus brother, him holding him up and then super kicking. And then, like I feel like it gave me the spots that I thought were going to be there. But overall, I was like, fuck. Like, this is so unfortunate for two guys that are, because you knew it was going to ride with them for a while. You knew that they're going to hold that against them for a while. They're still holding it against Jay today. They're like, if he had that bad of a match at Mania, is he going to do it again this year? And I'm like, bro, like, why are we comparing that? You know what I mean? Like, it's such an unfair thing to do to the guy.
It is, but you do have to, when you finally a singles wrestler, because the whole time everybody say, He's not a singles wrestler. He's a tag team wrestler. It's not really what he does, And I like the fact that Dom Mysterio is actually fighting somebody else besides his dad.
Yep.
I'm proud of him. Seeing him do that Mexican Destroyer the other day, that was enough for me. I was like, well, Dirty Dom got something going here now. I'm liking Dirty Dom. He already got the dirty charisma. Now he actually fighting. I like. Come on now, Dirty. That's what I'm talking about.
I agree. I mean, I think Dom's going to be very relevant in the space for a while, right? Like, he's got all the tools. I think eventually he's going to be a super baby face. Like, we see that stuff transition all the time. Like a Randy was a bad guy for how long, and now it's like you can't boo the guy. Like, that's people are always like, oh, just turn Randy heel again. I'm like, bro, nobody's going to boo him. Like, you literally need him to like kill somebody for him to get booed, and it has to be like your favorite wrestler. Like, he probably has to and the problem is he could literally run over Cody Rhodes at a bus, and you'll have people that are cheering for it, and it's like, damn, so how do we actually like does he have to take Rey Mysterio's mask off and show his face for Randy to turn heel again? You know what I mean? Like, certain guys, once you've been in the business long enough, you can't be a heel anymore. Like, it just doesn't work. It's like how people are still cheering for Cody to lose to Cena. They're like, Cena talked about he's winning number 17 and the crowd went ballistic. They're all cheering for it. And I'm like, you knew this was
coming. That's because for this past year, because it's been a year since Cody Rhodes has won the belt. It's been a calendar year since Cody Rhodes has won the belt. And since this past year, people are saying that has been a weak title reigns, or Cody Rhodes doesn't bring the aura that he should bring, holding the championship. This is what people are saying. I'm not telling you how I feel.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just telling you this is what people are saying. I know you probably get a lot of this in your comments as well, but this is what I'm hearing, and I believe that Cody is doing a pretty good job. He's not going to be Roman. That's not what you get.
Yep, I agree. I mean, it's tough. I think what sucked for Cody is he was kind of set up to fail, where most of the biggest stars were built up to help him win the title. Like, literally everyone that he could have possibly went against were guys that literally helped him win the title at WrestleMania and stuff like that. Where most of the people, everyone said, once he wins the title, I want to see him with Randy Orton. And Randy Orton's sitting there like his best friend the rest of the way. People said that he would put on great matches with Kevin Owens. We eventually got those Kevin Owens matches. People said that they wanted Sami Zayn to get a shot at the world title finally. Those two would put on great matches. The problem is you're not getting good feuds out of the guy when the biggest heel is the other world champion, right? Like, the only real big heel that we have that's main event level right now is Gunther. And he was...
Now that right there, Gunther might creep into my 5, man. Gunther, old school wrestler, whoop ass and talks his shit. Talk shit like William Regal, whoops ass like an old school wrestler. You understand me? I like Gunther. I knew he was gonna whoop Jimmy ass after Jimmy slapped him. I said, Jimmy done, man.
Yeah, that was my video for when my reaction to him slapping and went like crazy, and I said that's it. He's going out in blood, and he went out in blood. Literally went out in legit blood. The unfortunate part about it is that probably means that Jimmy's not going to be on the WrestleMania card.
He probably knew that.
Yeah, which kind of sucks though, because I'm a believer. You know how you say certain guys in that family. I think that he's the best out of his family in particular. Out of his dad, out of his brothers, I think Jimmy's the best out of all of them in terms of every single aspect. Yeah, I think Jimmy's way better in the ring than Jay. It's not even close. You don't even try to get me there. I think everybody will agree with me watching this that Jimmy is better in the ring than Jay. And
what's Jimmy's hold on. What's Jimmy's finisher? Hold on, we might have a situation there.
Well, the finisher that doesn't change the fact that he does everything significantly better in the ring. The way he chains everything together, the way he does everything, it's not the same exact chain that Jay does. Jay has he does like The Rock. The Rock sold the same exact chain every single time with doing his little, and then going into all his moves and to doing
But The Rock had a finisher. See, what I see out of Jimmy is I see Billy
both
Gunn.
of them do both of them not do the splash as their finisher? Both of them literally do the splash as their finisher.
First, if that's his finisher, then he's gonna have to get some more moves. He's a super kick and a finisher, and that's it. And I don't see him being better than Jay because Jay actually put the spear into his game.
Jimmy literally did a spear on Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, so again, Jay put a spear into his game. So what makes you think that Jimmy's better?
Jimmy does everything cleaner. If you watch Jay doesn't do everything as clean. Half the time, people are complaining that he's botching. You never hear them say Jimmy, oh my God, Jimmy botched. When Jimmy has his matches, at least they're clean. That's the big thing. Yeah. And
but Jay's on every night. So he's going to botch. Jay's on every night.
Jay doesn't really wrestle like that, bro.
No. Not right now. But 2024, Jay wrestled every night.
For like 2 minutes.
I'm not asking how many minutes he wrestled.
That's not
what's going on. Listen. I'm trying to tell you is his work ethic from the time Cody Rhodes brought him to Raw to the time he won the Intercontinental Championship. His work ethic was he was fighting every night.
Yeah, but a lot of it was also in the tag team with Cody. Then he eventually went on. Then he finally went on his own, and like he was just basically just going over people, right? Like Jimmy is losing and still looks good. Jimmy is losing and still looks good. When he was getting squashed by Gunther in all those championship matches, you cannot sit here and tell me that Jay looked like he was championship caliber. And I love Jay. I'm a big Jay guy. Like I love Jay.
Jay looked like he should have beat. Jay should have beat Damian Priest. Damian Priest was doing a lot of botching. Now that was some real botching. Okay, Damian Priest was botching a lot. Jay's botching is missing cues on certain things. Damian Priest was botching a lot as the champ.
Outside of not putting his arm up for the 3, what was the biggest botch outside of that?
Him flipping over the goddamn him flipping over the rope.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, he should never even go. He should not be going for that shit anyway. That's one of those like wake up calls to him. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? You should not be going. You're 6'6".
I think you only get to those desperations when you're trying to make the match bigger than what it is. Like Logan Paul, when Logan Paul did that springboard off the rope, like when he did that, I was like, damn. You know, that's okay. That might be another match that I put the money on. Him and AJ Styles.
I mean, those two are phenomenal performers. Like they're. See what I did there? Phenomenal. I didn't even realize I just did that. They are phenomenal performers. Yeah, I messed with those two. I mean, listen. Like I said, the biggest thing, because backtracking a little bit, the biggest thing is have you ever been to an AEW show or not?
No. I did nothing AEW at all.
So listen, I only go to AEW pay-per-views, especially when they're on the East Coast. I'm not traveling for like people, because I wanted to see if when they do a smaller arena, because everyone's been complaining that they don't sell tickets. Dynasty is not a big pay-per-view for them. They were like, oh my God, it's their biggest pay-per-view. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Dynasty is like a backlash, you know, like that's not, it's just a normal pay-per-view for them. And I was like, I want to see if they sell tickets to this. So I made a video and I drove out to Philly. I try to go to every single wrestling show by us. I'm going to go to TNA Slammiversary. I was really upset that I missed Impact's 1000 episode. That was at White Plains, New York. Really should have went to that. But I'm going to go to that. And when I went to Dynasty, I tell people all the time, I have never been more mesmerized by professional wrestling than when I go to an AEW show. Their level of professional wrestling is just light years ahead of anything I've ever watched in person in my life. There's just not a single, even on TV, when like what they do on that show is just so freaking good and so amazing. The best match I've ever watched in my life in person, and I've been to thousands of wrestling matches. Swerve Strickland against Will Ospreay at AEW Forbidden Door last year was the greatest match I've watched in person in my entire life. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I could not sit the fuck down. What they do when it comes to wrestling is absolutely amazing. Do I have any idea what the hell the storylines are? No, because I don't watch the damn show. I don't watch the show, but I don't watch.
Honestly, but that's been the issue with them.
But I can't comment on it. Everyone complains about the story. Like I can pick up what the story that's happening is just by being there and like seeing what's happening. Because like when your in-ring psychology is so good, you can tell me the story. I can tell who the bad guy is. I can tell who the good guy is. I can tell who's gonna go for doing the fucked up shit. Whose teammates are gonna come. Like they've done a great job of story to story from all the shows that I've been to. But obviously, I can't comment on their storytelling when I don't watch every, Wednesday and Saturday that they have shows on. I can't comment on storytelling when I don't watch the damn show. When it comes to in-ring wrestling, there's not a single show that I've been to that does what they do. It's just not even close.
Okay. Now, I heard that Moxie's contract is up. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't really keep up with that. But I promise you this, he is not coming back to the E. He is not coming back to us.
Okay. Somebody put a theory out there that he's popping up.
They're not going to pay him that. They're not going to pay him the type of money that Tony pays him. They're not going to let him do what he does. Like my guy, literally, I have a video in my drafts talking about it. He has the greatest situation I think any professional wrestler has in the world. He is the biggest heel in his company. He gets to act like the biggest heel in the company. He gets to wrestle the type of style he's been begging to wrestle for a decade now. And he gets paid stupid money to do it and only wrestle one day a week. Like that's the greatest gig in all of professional wrestling. Like you get paid dumb money. You're only putting your body on the line one day a week and you get to do it the way you want to do it. Like, I completely understand why Will Ospreay decided, hey, I'm not like I remember Triple H said that Will Ospreay is running from the hustle. Let me ask you, if you had to wrestle, 2-3 house shows a week and be on live television every single week, or you get to wrestle one day a week and get paid the same amount of money, what you gonna do?
Yeah, you can one day a week.
It's not even a question.
But some people actually wanted to, because that's the big leagues right there. Everybody consider that the big leagues, but money wise, they both make the same amount of money.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Listen, when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I'd say I was really big into like TNA. Like I love TNA, bro. I love TNA. I would swap between watching, the shows all the time because you had the John Cenas, the Randys, the Batistas on one show. You had the AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joes, Stings, Jeff Hardy's, Kurt Angle's on the other show. And I was always like, damn, it'd be so cool to see AJ Styles in the WWE. So cool to see Samoa Joe. Like these guys should just leave TNA. Nowadays, as an adult, I'm like, bro, get your bag, bro. The whole being famous and having a legacy, I completely understand getting a bag and getting rich after you put your body on the line, especially when you meet. I met so many of these professional wrestlers at, these conventions and stuff like that. When you go to like WrestleCons and stuff like that, a lot of them, their bodies are beat up, bro. Some of them have trouble walking. Some of them lost their hearing. Some of them are in wheelchairs and stuff like that. If you can become a rich man, Lex Luger is a perfect example. If you can become a rich man, look at Kevin Nash for the longest. Remember his knees? The guy had like the concave knees for the longest till he got the surgeries to fix his knees and stuff like that. If you can not do that and still get paid millions for entertaining me, I'm all in. And that's the best part about professional wrestling right now, but also the scary part. Like Roman can retire today and he's set for life. He made so much money, that's the one like little scary thing is like, they don't gotta go 10, 15, 20 years anymore, bro. They can go 5 to 10 years and they've made enough money where they're set, back then you had guys going for 30 years because they had to, they weren't making the type of money they are now because the deals weren't as big. The merch sales weren't as big. You hear the numbers that like a Cody Rhodes can retire tomorrow and he's set for life. His dad was clawing just to like make ends meet. And now Cody Rhodes is good to retire tomorrow if he wanted to. And it's so awesome that that's where we're at in professional wrestling, that these guys, that they entertain us 52 weeks out of the year. People forget there's no off season in pro wrestling.
No,
like
it's not.
WWE, there's no off switch and they got 4 months off. These guys are going every single week. They're nonstop. They're doing house shows. They're doing media. They're doing the meet and greets. They're going to random liquor stores to do meet and greets and stuff like that for the WWE and stuff like that. Like, it's awesome to see that they're finally being rewarded for the work that they put in.
Yeah, it definitely is awesome. And I do have to say, it's nice to see those older wrestlers sometimes. I haven't been to a WrestleCon yet, but to see older wrestlers, come around and still be nice, talk to people, that is a good thing. I actually want to run into the Dudley Boys, because I believe the Dudley Boys are the greatest tag team ever. That's just my thought, but I believe they're the greatest tag team ever. That's just my thought. Everybody else got their own tag team. I'm just telling you, that's just mine. That's just how I feel on that. Now, let's get into this thing, man. You and your belief in Mr. Oh, shit. There they go. Okay, I see you. Yeah, you and your belief in Mr. Austin Theory.
Okay.
How do you feel? How do you feel that he should be the face, one of the faces of the company?
So here's my big thing. When it comes to being the face of the company, a lot of it has to do with, like, you need to have 3 things, right? 4 things realistically, but there's one thing that I feel like a lot of people hate talking about because they think it questions their sexuality or their manhood, right? You need to have a really good-looking guy as the face of your company. That's just how professional wrestling works, right? Like, that's like Cody Rhodes, if he's not a really good-looking dude, is not the face of your company. Roman Reigns, if he's not a really good-looking dude, is not the face of your company. Rock was a good-looking guy. Stone Cold, like, you ask the women, good-looking dude. I don't know how women found Hulk Hogan attractive, but back then they found a guy like that super attractive. But Austin Theory has the look. He's a jack dude. He is a good-looking guy, and that's like one of the things that you need. That's why I always say Dom's a good-looking dude. He's going to be one of the biggest dudes. You need to be really good in the ring. That dude, when he was allowed to work, had such an insane moveset, from the ataxia all the way to the A-Town down, the different types of suplexes he would go for. His drop kick is one of the best in the business. He has every single tool when it comes to in-ring. Character work, he was willing to work with a goofy selfie character to this point where he's like a really big heel right now. He's willing to do any character you ask him to do. There's people that would have never done that selfie gimmick. I think you will agree with me. That shit sucked. Vince McMahon was making him fucking walking around taking stupid selfies at everybody. Like, he didn't want to do that shit. He was just doing whatever it took to get on the good side of the boss. And the big thing he also has is he has the backstory. The guy is straight edge, because he had a father. I'm kind of like telling a story a little bit, but he had a father that was an alcoholic that would literally drive the car while he was drunk, with his son, Austin Theory, in the passenger seat, and would pass out, and Austin would literally have to grab the wheel and like drive that thing. He was a role model to every single person in his town. He helped raise his brothers. He is amazing with the kids. Like, if you ever meet him, he is so good with the kids, like a John Cena type with the kids. The kids come up to him, he's taking pictures, joking with them and stuff like that. I got to make a few videos with him, and like, his energy is like really good. Like, he's like a very, like, when you need someone like that, where they're extroverted, they get how to work with people, they get how to talk to people, and they're great with the fans. He's great in ring, good looking dude. He has every single tool, and he's 28 years old right now? And he's going to have already 5 years of experience in the big leagues. By the time they finally actually give him that push in the next 3-4 years, when we start phasing out the current guys, he has to, like, there's no one else that is even positioned right now to be that next guy.
All right. I believe he's in this same little realm with Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
And the Dirty Dom.
Yep.
And the time of Tonga, which time of Tonga is a lot older though. But
he's like 40 something right now. Jacob's more in that conversation because Jacob's like 32. Solo's like 31.
Yeah, but Jacob got to not only does he have the the mic skills and the mind, and the mindset. Jacob got the whole total package. Yeah, Jacob got the whole total package, and
I think
he's
everybody
gonna
you
be a
named has the total package. Carmelo Hayes has a
yeah.
total package.
I believe
Dom has a total
they all
package.
do, but it's just that they're not getting enough. I feel as though they have to go through that Jay Uso work resume. You have to work every single show, and I think that's what they're gonna have to do.
And I feel like that's where I actually been talking about where I think Triple H fucks up a little bit is he relies on the older talent too much, and he relies on storylines around the older talent a little too much. For example, Jacob Fatu would not have this opportunity right now if the storyline did not revolve around Roman and the Ulafala. Like he would not be up here right now, and they would not have had to bring him up as the enforcer for Solo and him be in the War Games, and that all of that timeline got him to where he's at right now. Because Triple H has this crazy obsession of just mixing everybody with older dudes. Like Carmelo Hayes is walking behind The Miz right now and not even talking. Like they're doing backstage segments and stuff like that. Like he had it's awesome because he had a chance with Randy. He did some stuff with Braun Strowman, and then they just tossed him in the back of the line because Triple H knows, let me just work at what's reliable and not take any risks. I've said this for a while now. He does not take any risk when it comes to booking. There's nobody where he's really like elevated them much higher than they were. People are like, oh, well, he took a risk with Jey Uso winning the Rumble. We're talking about a guy that was a tag team champion for the past like 14 years. What do you mean take a chance? We're talking about a guy that's arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. That's not taking a chance on somebody. LA Knight's the closest thing that he had.
Okay. So what about Brian Breaker?
I mean, he has him as an IC champion. Like, that's cool and all. And he didn't take, it's not like he took it off Gunther. He took it off Sami Zayn, who had the title for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, they took it off Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn won that title in WrestleMania. He took it off him in SummerSlam. That's like 3 pay-per-views apart.
But Sami Zayn was like another guy where it's like you trust Sami Zayn to take it off Gunther. In my opinion, you really wanted to make a splash with a Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's the one that takes it off Gunther.
But they had to push Sami Zayn. Like
everybody
in the bloodline, in the bloodline got to push. But
you're literally you're calling what I'm saying right now, though. Everyone in the bloodline who's like 40 years old is the one getting the pushes. You know what I'm saying?
Like everybody but Jimmy got a push. Even Solo got a push. Well, I don't know if you consider Solo's a push. I don't know.
I don't know. Losing all those matches. He did get. Listen, he is one of like only 4 guys to pin Cody Rhodes, though. You got to remember that. Solo is one of only 4 guys to pin Cody. But other than that, like, bro, he has 1 pin over Cody, and everything else he's losing. You beat John Cena by spiking him like 5 times. You lose all these matches. You pin Cody. You lose all these matches. Like it's like I said, something with Triple H is very. I'm just gonna wait to phase these guys out and then just throw all these dudes in. Like it's very much like when Brock Lesnar got fed everybody on his rise. I believe we're gonna see that from a decent amount of people in the next couple of years, where you're gonna bring somebody up, they're gonna run through all these legends you have all the way to the top. He's gonna have to do that. Like a lot of his top dogs are in their 40s. And it's a lot of people are like, oh, you could wrestle to your 50s. You can. But I don't think a lot of these guys are going to want to wrestle to their 50s. Like they don't need to anymore. Like you have guys like not everyone's AJ Styles willing to put on 5-star matches at 47 years old. We agree? Right?
So
like you and me.
So what do you I agree with you, but what are you going to do if all of these guys just go ahead and retire? Like I believe NXT has enough talent.
But that's what I've been
move up.
I'm saying that. The problem is he doesn't bake anybody. Like you got to have people in the oven. Braun Breaker is somewhat in the oven right now because he has the IC title. He's doing the feud with Penta, Finn, and Dom. If he loses at Mania, you just turn that oven off. So I feel like he has to win at Mania because there is no young talent right now that's really getting that push. You could say Jacob Fatu, but they got Jacob Fatu going up against LA Knight for the U.S. title. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to give
another 40-year-old guy.
Exactly. You got to give these guys opportunities to really rise up and go like against some of these bigger dogs and at least get some wins here and there. Like when they had Carmelo
What
Hayes
about-
get that win on Randy, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna start giving us a little bit of, Carmelo Hayes out here.
So what about LA Knight?
I mean, he's another guy where it's like, hey, like you don't know where he's
No,
gonna be.
no. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say LA Knight. What about? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say LA Knight. What about Jake Paul?
Logan Paul, you mean?
Logan Paul, my bad. The Paul brother.
So he's a tough scenario because like it's all dependent on him. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's all dependent on does he really want to do this full time and how long does he want to do it full time? Because like if he literally told them, hey, I want to do this full time and I want to be on TV and I want to be involved in storylines, he's got to beat AJ Styles at Mania and he's got to go for the world heavyweight title. Not necessarily win it per se, but you need to elevate him into like the world title scene and stuff like that. Because he did get a shot. Remember, he got a shot at Night of Champions against Roman. But at that point, we weren't sure if he's just a celebrity wrestler. We weren't sure if he's just now he's saying he wants to be a full-time wrestler. I need to see him be a full-time wrestler.
He got a shot at the, if I'm not mistaken, he got a shot at the WinterCon. Yes, he did. Yeah. He was in Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. But like, that's the time between Elimination Chamber till WrestleMania, he will have been on TV twice.
Right.
Like
Which
that's the big thing. Yeah, that's the big thing. Like you got to decide, hey, do you want to be on TV? Do you want to travel with these guys? Do you want to build that relationship with these guys to the point where it's like, all right, we're going to make you a big star in this company. Not that he needs it, because obviously he's a massive star anyway, but there's a difference between being a massive star and working your way up to a title where it's believable when he wins.
All right. Let me ask you. I got a couple more questions. I'm going to let you get out of it. Now, I'm going to tell you where I was upset at. All right. The Royal Rumble came along and they put I Show Speed on it. All right. And shout out to I Show Speed. You know, he's a legend. He's doing his thing on the internet. I love what he got going on. But I felt as though Trick Williams should have been on there in that spot.
I think that they kind of held off on the guys' side this year, and I think it's going to happen next year that we're going to get a lot more of the younger talent. And it, like you saw it, they only had there was not a single NXT guy, right? I don't think they used a single NXT guy on the men's side. The
I don't think so, no, but they did use my boy Joe Hendry. I was excited about that.
I think they're waiting until next year, man. I think they're waiting until next year. The women was very obvious. That's the one thing that I feel like is very awesome with the women's side. They always try to elevate talent on the women's side, and I think it's always freaking awesome to see. I just wish they would use that formula with the men's side a little more. Like Tiffany Stratton went from being a body at the Elimination Chamber to world champion within a year span just because of how well she did in Chamber, right? Like,
people were saying that they're only pushing her because she's cute and she ain't really that good of a wrestler, and the fight with her and Charlotte Flair ain't gonna be that good. And
when has Charlotte Flair not performed on the WrestleMania? Charlotte Flair performs at every single WrestleMania she's ever been in. She is she rises to the occasion.
But if the other person doesn't show up to the match, then it's not a good performance. Now, just because you got one top performer, but if both of them don't show up,
they're both really good. I think you agree with me. They're both really good. Like,
I do believe they're good. I don't have a problem with Tiffany at all. I think what Tiffany has done has been really good. I actually like Tiffany. You know what I mean? And it's got nothing to do with her being pretty. I just like her because I do like her the way she does her moonsault.
Yep.
I actually like the way she wrestles. Her winning the Money in the Bank was actually pretty good for her. But I just don't see all the rest. That's just it. I just don't see all the rest. I don't see where this, with Tiffany Stratton being champ, where does she get this crazy title range? Does she beat Charlotte Flair? Because you got to, like you said, you got to start knocking legends off.
Yeah.
Even with the girls, you got to start knocking legends off, right? Is she going to be the one that's going to start knocking legends off? Because Naomi's the only one. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. The EST, Miss EST herself, is the only one that's undefeated in WrestleMania.
Yep. She's going to stay undefeated.
So you think she's going to get the Undertaker run?
I don't know about forever. She's winning at Mania this year. I'm a very big Bianca Belair truther. I think that she is total package, probably the best woman in the women's division right now. Total package.
Okay, I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I do like Rhea Ripley, but I
love Rhea as
agree
well.
with you.
I'm a big Rhea guy, but I think Bianca Belair in ring is untouched in the women's division right now. She is so freaking good at every like. She carried Jade Cargill through that tag team title reign like unbelievably. Like she.
Oh man, so are you one of the ones that believe that Jade can't wrestle too?
No, it's not that I don't believe she can't wrestle. I just think she's nowhere near the level of Bianca Belair.
No, she's not that level. No,
it was a complete mismatch as teammates. No, I don't think that she can't wrestle. I think that she's good.
Twitter eats her up every match.
She's good enough. She's good enough. That's the thing. Like for me, she's good enough. She's nothing. Oh my god! Like I'm not gonna tune in and be like, I have to see a Jade Cargill match. I think she's just good enough where she can put on a good enough match. That's really all you need as long as there's a story involved. You know, like you're not gonna be wowed when you see her in the ring, but you know you're not gonna get the Io Sky treatment. You're not gonna get the Bianca Belair treatment where you're like, holy shit, that was fucking sick. You know, but she's gonna be just good enough.
And she tried to do some new stuff and she botched too. That's what it is. When you not as good as an entertainer, you try to do a different move to try to like I ain't gonna lie, when I seen what is his name? Damn, we was just talking about him. Sami Zayn. When I seen Sami Zayn fight against Gunther at WrestleMania, and he hit, I guess it's called, what is that move called that he did on the
Brain Buster?
That's what it's called?
It's a Brain Buster, yeah.
I don't know why somebody called it something different, but yeah. He hit that Brain Buster on that turnbuckle. I thought for sure that was a botch, and he done broke his neck. I said, it's over.
That's what it looks like.
That's how I was grabbing the guy next to me like, it's over. He's like, no, he hit the move. That move is banned. Like, that's what he kept telling me. He said, the move is banned. They don't even allow it. I said, oh, I like that one. And he ain't do it again. That was it. Like, just that one time. He ain't do it again.
I love the Brain Buster.
I love that move that he did. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love it. But to beat Gunther, you got to go somewhere deep. And I think that's the thing with Jey Uso. I think we're going to get a new move from Jey Uso.
I hope he taps him out. I hope he puts him to sleep.
Get the fuck out of here. I ain't think of that.
I hope that's what I've been saying. I would love for him to put Gunther to sleep. That would be like that's like the perfect way to end that match.
So do you think Triple H was pushing Bronson Reed?
I think he wanted to. I think he wanted to, but unfortunately the broken ankles was, you know, I think he was probably going to be running with the bloodline for a little bit. And then
that'd have been good.
And then like I think a lot of what Jacob's doing right now was meant for Bronson Reed. Like it was very obvious because they even went back to a lot of it. They went back to the Braun Strowman stuff. They went back to having like the LA Knight involved and stuff like that. So I think that was supposed to be Bronson Reed's stuff this year. And then Jacob was going to get the push next year. But obviously Bronson broke his ankles and it's like, fuck it. Send Jacob to the moon now.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So what's your predictions for Mania? What is your wild prediction? I gave you mine. What is yours?
I think CM Punk walks out as the winner of the men's triple threat match because I believe he will be getting a shot at the winner of night 2 main event, which is John Cena at Money in the Bank. And I believe that Randy Orton is going to beat whoever he has to have a match because whoever he beats is going to set him and John Cena up at Backlash. And John Cena is about to go on a run where he beats Randy Orton in his hometown of St. Louis. And he runs back that Money in the Bank match that they had where CM Punk walked out on the company and gets his win back at Money in the Bank.
Okay. All right. So Kevin Owens is really injured. This is real.
Yeah. I mean, from what everyone's I can't. It's one of those things where it's like injuries. I hate to be like, oh, it's a work. I know people love doing that. Oh, they're just working us. I hate doing that for the sole fact of if the guy's actually injured and needs to get a neck fusion, I feel like an asshole, right? So like I never like to like play along those lines. But no matter what, if they end up doing Kevin Owens against Randy anyway, is Randy still winning?
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, I wish him well, man. 'Cause I would really, because my other favorite wrestler ended up dying, man. Bray Wyatt was my other favorite wrestler.
I love Bray
'Cause
Wyatt as well.
I came back into wrestling 10 years. No, it was 11 years ago. 11 years ago, I got back into wrestling. So I took off for wrestling about when Brock Lesnar became the man. I started watching wrestling, and then I got back into it about 2014. So I missed CM Punk's real big run.
Damn, yeah. So
I
you missed
missed,
Summer of
I
Punk,
missed it.
yeah.
Yeah, I missed that real big run, but I got him at the end where he beat almost the whole Shield except for Roman.
Yep.
Yeah. So, that's where that was. Now, as far as I gotta ask you this, since we on the Wyatt family, are they like shelved or like what's going on here?
Dude, I'm pretty sure I saw their last match at a house show. It was December. It was the holiday show at MSG, and like I was like, oh, if they're doing this holiday show, they got to be going on TV soon. We're 4 months later, and I have no idea where the heck they're at, bro. I like if you want to talk about fumbling a massive debut and like a faction that like you could literally use them like once a month and people would still be behind it if it was like for the right reason, right? Like if right now you use them to unmask El Grande Americano, people would be like, that was fucking cool,
But
right?
that ain't honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I thought. When Alexa Bliss got pinned by the girl from Judgment Day.
Liv Morgan? Liv Morgan.
Yeah. And the look that she gave her after that in the Elimination Chamber, I said, this would be good for them to go take the belts off of their ass. She go get with that other girl that's part of the
Nikki
Wyatt
Cross.
family, Nikki Cross, and they go take the belts off their ass. This would be good. That's what I thought. But I ain't seen none of them on TV since.
Yeah, it's tough. Like with stuff like that, like everyone's always like, yo, when do you think this person's coming out? That person's coming out. I have no fucking clue, man. That's the hard part about the WWE is like they got so much talent on that roster, and it's like, damn, like when are you really gonna use these people?
Like I said, it's just the thought, but it would be nice to see the Wyatt family, man. I do like seeing them, man. I think they deserve at least a tag team title shot. The girls and the guys. I feel that way about. They deserve at least a tag team title shot. Because them tag team titles are just out there. And especially that I think the War Raiders got them now.
Yeah.
That'll actually be good to see them fight the War Raiders and stuff like that. So those are my thoughts. Now, I got to ask you a couple things and then we up out of here, all right? Now, what do you say to people who want to go out there and be a content creator? What is your advice to them?
Man, so my biggest thing is this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Like you have to get your reps in when it comes to content creation. I started TikTok in October of 2019, and it took me right around that time period. I don't know if you remember, it used to tell you how many videos the person has on their page. It was like a little section right under your following and see how many videos you have. I posted 623 videos before I gained 10,000 followers. So from October to March, I uploaded about 600 videos in that time period. I gained 10,000 followers in that time period. In March itself, I got to 300,000 followers. The biggest reason was I learned from making 600 videos what videos do well, how I make videos well, and how I can resonate with my audience that I want to grow with. The hardest thing that I feel like a lot of content creators or like people that want to be content creators do is they spend 1 month, they'll post every single day. It doesn't pop off. They go, fuck this shit. I wasted all my time. It's not even real. You got to get lucky. Everyone's an industry plant and stuff like that. You don't go to the gym 30 days and think you're going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't do anything for 30 days and think that you're going to be a professional at it. You got to put in, reps out. I was posting literally like 5 videos a day, basically every single day for 4 months straight, just so I can figure out what works. Why does it work? I would look at the videos and be like, that was good. And then I look at videos and be like, oh my God, that was dog shit. Why did I even post that video? And you got to be passionate about it too. Like a lot of people just want to get rich and famous and become these massive influencers and stuff like that. If you're not passionate about what you do, you're going to wake up one day and be like, what am I doing, bro? Like, why am I spending my time making all these TikToks when I don't even like it? Why am I talking about this? Why am I doing that? You see it all the time because I originally come from the gaming space. When I first got into content creation, I was a gaming content creator. And you see so many people that are just like, oh, I can make money just by sitting there and play video games. Let me go buy a console. And I'm like, do you even play video games? They're like, I used to when I was a kid. And I'm like, give them 6 months. They're going to give up because they're not passionate about it. They don't actually like it. They want to be rich and famous and stuff like that. So if you want to get into content, just make sure you're passionate about whatever you're doing and make sure you're putting in the reps, because once you learn what works, and here's the thing, some people learn what works in 10 videos. Some people learn what works in 1,000 videos. But once you learn, you get a flip that switches and then you're smooth sailing.
Okay. Sheesh. So you went from, were you always on all platforms, or you just started with just TikTok?
So I was like streaming off of my Xbox on Mixer. There was a platform called Mixer. And
I know Mixer.
Yeah, so I used to stream on Mixer straight off of my Xbox. And I tried to like make YouTube videos here and there. Like some of my old ones are like, they're bad, you know, like I didn't really know how to edit. So I'd post like videos on YouTube. I would post some clips on like Twitter. I didn't really start doing Instagram till like the end of last year. I never really took like Instagram serious, but I started taking Instagram serious like end of last year. But I already know how to make content. So like it's so much easier. People are like, bro, like you just started and you have like 160K on Insta. And I'm like, I kind of know what I'm doing at this point, you know, like I know what kind of content people want to see. But yeah, TikTok was like my main thing. Like even now I post 3 to 5 times a day on TikTok.
Okay. Because I remember you put that video out and you was like, all of this stuff I got right here, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yes.
Like that's what you post. And I was like, what does he mean by that?
I literally, like, I have 3 monitors here. I have this camera. I have this little deck here. I have like all this shit here. And I used to live in a pro gaming house. Like I was a part of a professional gaming team. One of the guys literally set everything up for me. Like if anything breaks here, y'all not seeing me for a while. I'm being honest. If anything breaks here, I'm done. Like, because people be like, yo, this guy's gatekeeping. He won't teach me how to like set up the streaming the way he does and like recording the way he does. And I like to tell them like, yo, watch a YouTube video because I have no fucking clue. Like one of my PCs, the button is at like the top right corner and it's kind of hidden when the PC is off. I didn't know how to turn that PC on. I had to literally FaceTime the guy that set me up and I go, yo, how the fuck do I turn this on? I'm like, there's no button. I was like, is there like an on switch in the back? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And he's like, bro, it's in the front. You just got to like click in. And I was like, oh shit. All right. I got it. You know, and people will be like, he's gatekeeping some guy. Cause the reason I made that video, some guy made a video going, I DM'd him and he told me he doesn't even know what he's doing. How do you not know what you're doing if you're doing this? And I'm like, bro, cause I didn't set this up. Like it's so like my setup is so basic. You see people with like little effects on their screens and like they have like a watermark and like all these things happen. And I'm like, bro, I have the most basic shit there is. And I just click buttons. I click one button on here and it clips my last 90 seconds of what happened and I post it. That's it. That's all I got to do. I don't do anything fancy. Stop acting like I'm trying to gatekeep so you can't get it. I want everyone to make it in this game. I want everyone to make it in the game. And I've helped my friends go from 0 followers to 100K followers by teaching them what I know so I can have friends that are in content. You know what I mean? Like most of the guys that I'm going with to WrestleMania, I've helped them grow because like I want them to get opportunities with me.
That's what's up. Now I seen you do your commercial on TikTok.
Yeah.
I seen that. I was watching and I was like, take the camera. I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's Allen. I was like, ain't this a bitch? I had to say I'm proud of you, man, for going and get that
Appreciate that, man.
sponsor. Now they continue with sponsor, or was that just a one-time thing?
No, so I have a year-long thing with them. It's funny. So when I was in gaming, I had a sponsorship with SteelSeries, G Fuel, and Asus. And then I had a couple other like smaller sponsorships here and there that I've done. And then once I went into just fully into wrestling content, I had some of the bigger companies reach out to me. I'm not going to name them, but like some of the companies that you see associated with WWE reached out to me. And here's the thing. I don't drink caffeine. Like I'll have a Celsius here and there, but like I'm not really a caffeine guy. And like a lot of the energy drink companies reach out to me and I'm like, guys, like unless I can just put your product right here and I don't got to drink that shit, I can't do it because I don't genuinely drink your product. Like I'm the type of person where like I have to use your product for me wanting to be have a sponsorship with you. Here's my big thing also. I think that there's a lot of sponsorships right now in the wrestling space that I don't agree with should be there, right? I don't think we should have alcohols companies involved in professional wrestling. I don't think we should have gambling companies involved in professional wrestling, but we do.
But that is all about the listen, if they come to you and want to give you a check for something that they like that you do, you're gonna take the check.
No,
make you do nothing outside the ordinary.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't taken a decent amount of these checks because I'm not promoting drinking when I'm sober. You know what I mean? Like I'm 3 years sober.
Okay.
Like I've rejected, I used to work with Fireball back in the day. Like Fireball whiskey.
Okay.
The biggest thing with them was all they said was wear a shirt and have a blow up Fireball bottle behind you. You don't got to drink nothing. You don't got to talk about drinking. You don't got to promote the bottles or nothing. You just got to have the shirt on and there was like a big inflatable Fireball behind me and stuff like that. I've worked with DoorDash because I use DoorDash, right? Like I use DoorDash. I worked with DoorDash. I'm very big on I'm not taking a sponsorship unless I either use your shit or I like your shit. You're not going to cut me a check to promote a gambling company when I know what gambling does to people. You know what I mean? Like it's just not me, unfortunately. Like sometimes I'm like, yo, I wish I had no morals because I'd be fucking rich, bro. I'd be rich. They offer you good money.
Yeah. I can't wait till I get to that point.
You will.
To where I can say,
you keep grinding this, you will.
Oh no, I've been grinding shit. I've been grinding about 7 years now. So don't worry
it's coming.
about it.
That moment's coming, man. That moment's coming.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna keep grinding. Don't even worry about it. And we're gonna be seeing a lot of each other. And listen, I want to thank you for coming out here today. I would like you to come back when my co-host is around, because I know she got some more questions she want to ask you. So I don't want to drown you with questions. But like I said, I want to thank you, and I appreciate you coming through, and can't wait to do this with you again. I will see you at SummerSlam.
Yes, sir.
That is for sure. Unless something happens to me, unless I pass out or something, I will be there. That's for sure. Any final words you got for the people out there?
Listen, my biggest thing is, I say it all the time, is I want everyone to stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, stick to the things that you love doing, and have a good night.
That's right. That's right. And God bless y'all. And good night. And Alan, stay on for a second. I just want to ask you a couple questions.